Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel where today I am going to be reviewing We Men of Ash and Shadow by Holly Tinsley. Now, full disclaimer before I go into the review. I actually know Holly. I haven't met her, but I know Holly through the page 2 in forums. And actually, before meeting her as a writer, as an author, the reason is I've interacted with her through our monthly Dungeons and Dragons game that we play, where Holly, apart from Grimdark author, is a cracking and very patient Dungeon Master. So through the game and figuring out that she wrote, I decided to read her book. Now, I did pay for the book, so I am entitled to say exactly what I think about it and give my honest opinion, and that's not going to change regardless of whether I know the author outside of the realm of that writer-reader contract that we have when I purchase the book. Having said all of that, I have to admit I did enjoy the book a great deal. I read it fairly quickly, and point number one that I was grateful for is that Holly wrote the first book in the series, and it's about 350 pages long, and the story, I think, benefits from it. You don't have to drag out a book to 400, 500, 700 pages. It's a low fantasy setting. I would say low fantasy, yeah, it's a low fantasy setting. It takes place in a secondary world that is fairly nondescript. It's sort of Gaslight, kind of Victorian time type thing, 18th, 19th century sort of type of big city, where we follow the steps of John Vanguard, who is this hired assassin by the ruler of the town, Dorsey, which is the city that the action takes place, and he just sort of mops up the criminal underworld and the distractions of the ruler of the city, who rules the city with an iron fist. So we just follow his footsteps, like I said, as he's going around killing the underworld. He develops relationships with the underworld, the underbelly of the city, prostitutes, gamblers, innkeepers, other assassins, and he sort of has this mentor-apprentice relationship with a young man down on his luck from a wealthy family who he trains to be an assassin as well. And then I don't want to spoil the rest of the action. I was sold on the story as soon as the pub where John Vanguard hangs around is called the Ringo Bastards. Thank you, take me whatever you want, I'm with you all the way. So the dialogues are witty and funny. The characters are well executed. We get bits of background about John as the book goes on. They feel a little bit shoehorned in at times. They don't happen organically in conversation with other characters. It's literally a paragraph where we will have some sort of exposition of what happened in the past, which to me it is screeched a little bit, but it doesn't take away from the story. And you actually do want to find out how John came about to be in the situation that he's in. I, perhaps being picky, wish that we had found out in a slightly more organic way to the story. But it was, like I said, it was greatly enjoyable. I did have a slight issue at the end with there's like a sort of town revolt, and it wasn't quite clear like the need for or how the revolt came about or the reasons why. I mean, yeah, there's this tyrannical ruler of the city, but what are the real reasons why people want to revolt against, and who is this person leading the revolution? So I think there was a slight gap in the story there that wasn't quite well explained, or I didn't quite understand. But once again, I did enjoy it. I did like the story. The second book in the series is already out, so I will definitely be picking it up, possibly at some point next year, because I want to continue. The only thing, though, I would say is it is a grimdark the setting is grimdark. I mean, Holly, I'm so sorry, she's not a very nice person, at least to her characters. Maybe in real life she is. I mean, she's a great dungeon master, but she's horrible to her characters. There's torture, there's killings. When things seem to go a certain way that you would expect, this is grimdark. So that master-apprentice relationship, something's gonna happen. The love interest in John Vanguard's life, something's gonna happen. The young lady something's gonna happen. No one is safe. No one is going to survive. This is not classic fantasy. This is grimdark, so expect blood, gore, and not everyone that you like to be around in 2, 3, 4 books time, however long the series is. Also, another thing I would have done, if this is grimdark, I wouldn't have called the series The Vanguard Chronicles, because now we know that John is going to survive for however many books there are, right? But if I do the juxtaposition with A Song of Ice and Fire, we follow Eddard Stark in Game of Thrones, and when Eddard Stark dies, you know no one is safe, and that's a game changer. So, I'm not saying that necessarily John needs to die in the future, but if you had called the series something else, we would have that in the back of our minds, that no one is safe. Is John likely to die at any point in time? And there's not going to be any plot conveniences, there's not going to be any plot armor that's going to get him out of the difficult situations. So I don't know. Then, something that is not explored at all in this first book is the idea of there is some sort of hint that there is something magic. So John and the trainee assassin seem to have the power to not be seen by the general public, and we're not outright told that they can turn invisible. We don't know if it's some kind of mind suggestion that they do to be inconspicuous. It's not explained at all. So it is intriguing, and people seem to be aware that they can do this thing, but like I said, it's not explored, it's not explained. You're still left thinking and guessing. Maybe we'll find out more in later books. So there's a slight element of magic perhaps in the series, but it's not great. It's not like a massive component of the books, but the story is very well plotted, it's very well threaded. The characters, they're not likable, but you want to stay with them and see what happens to them. And I am very glad I read this book, and it's part of the reason why in my last book I said that I'm changing my mind about indie authors, and this book has been a major contributor in that. So this is all I have for today. I'm trying to get Holly to join for a conversation where we can discuss the book. So she tentatively said yes. I'm hoping she will still say yes after this, and I'll keep you posted if and when that happens. That's all I have for today. Take loads and loads of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.